So what I want to impart is that physical activity, it is essential for people to maintain a balance between the numbers of calories that we consume and the number of calories that we're expending. So obviously, if we're consuming more than we're expending, we are increasing our chances of becoming obese. And we know that obesity contributes to many health issues, cancer of which being one. So what I want to talk a little bit about is, obesity isn't the only thing that exercise can prevent. And especially with cancer. Exercise also contributes to a lot of other ways to reduce your risk factors for cancer. I'm gonna briefly touch base on that. I want to talk about, with breast cancer, many studies show that physically active women have a lower risk of breast cancer than inactive women, about 12% lower. And physical activity has been associated with a reduced risk of breast cancer in both premenopausal and postmenopausal women. So it's never too late to start. If you have never exercised, please start. And we'll talk a little bit about getting started because it doesn't have to be complicated. Physical activity wasn't always that complicated. We used to never have to think about it because our lifestyle required us to be physically active. And as life progressed and technology came into play, now we have to think about it. And I like to call that purposeful movement. But I don't want you to think too hard about it. And that is what kind of gets me as an exercise physiologist. I have an extremely organic take on exercise. It's movement. That's all it is. We all just got up and did a little shimmy and we felt a little better, right? It can be that simple. Now, we need to do a little bit more. But I hope that I hope I at least wetted your whistle a little bit. So, how is exercise linked to reducing the risks of cancer? So these are kind of like the other things. Not only does it help us maintain a healthier weight, but it has a number of biological effects on the body. And some of these are all very, very important. So it lowers the levels of hormones, such as insulin and estrogen, and that's something that Shayna was talking about with foods. These are things we need to watch, so you want to burn them off, and you burn them off through exercise. Certain growth factors have been associated with cancer development and progression, so exercise helps reduce that. Helping to prevent obesity and decreasing the harmful effects of obesity, particularly the development of insulin resistance. It reduces inflammation. We can reduce inflammation through diet. We can reduce inflammation through exercise as well. It improves our immune system function. And it also reduces the amount of time it takes for food to travel through the digestive system, which decreases gastrointestinal tract exposure to potential carcinogens. You get to moving and everything gets to moving. It's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So, the CDC, the American College of Sports Medicine, they recommend, how much, Jennifer, do we need to exercise? What is enough? Because God forbid we do too much, right? We don't want to go over in our exercise. We want you, myself, exercise physiologist, that beautiful row back there with the black shirts of the Piedmont Atlanta Fitness Center. We want you to move at the very least, 150 minutes a week, okay? That's like 5 days, you're moving 30 minutes a day. But let me just tell you, with these 150 minutes per week, they need to be in greater than 10-minute increments for cancer prevention to maximize your health benefits. So yeah, I am all about getting up and walking into the water fountain during work and doing different things. You definitely want to stand more. But to really benefit from movement, you want to exercise in greater increments of 10 minutes. So this is another thing about the 150 minutes. To maximize those benefits, we want this exercise to be moderate to vigorous. What the heck does moderate to vigorous mean? right? Well, we were having a little discussion earlier, and Dr. Barber was talking about, a group of ladies walking around the block with a glass of wine at night and evening. Now, that sounds lovely. Let me just tell you, I am all for that. That doesn't qualify for cancer prevention. So what we want to do, though, and again, we're not going to overcomplicate this. You do not need to get a watch that's going to measure your heart rate. Moderate to vigorous, to me, it's your perceived level of exertion. It is what you're perceiving to be moderate or vigorous. You want to be exercising. I like to use the talk-sing test. If you can talk when you walk, you're doing great. But if you can sing while you're exercising, you might not be exercising at a moderate to vigorous rate. And another thing that I want you to keep in mind, and when we do this a lot with our breast cancer survivors in our PINK program, they might come in one day and they might walk on the treadmill and they're feeling great, and they're walking hard, and they're really getting in, they're digging in, and they're working their moderate to vigorous, and that's amazing. And they might come in and they might not feel good, and they might be like, I don't even know if I can move today. And we say, let's just get you on a bike and you pedal, because today that's your moderate to vigorous, okay? So it's what you feel. It's how you feel. That is so valuable. We know ourselves so well. So even if you are not feeling up to movement, if you can move, you move, because that's your moderate to vigorous for that day. And you get out there and you do that, because that is going to benefit you. And for kids, I just want to give this. For kids, the guidelines recommend at least an hour a day. Kids, they need to get out there. And the last point I want to make is exercise beneficial for cancer survivors? What do y'all think? Yes, it is. Of course it is. So how does it benefit? It helps, obviously, manage and maintain a healthy weight. Improvements to quality of life, body image, self-esteem, emotional well-being, sexuality, sleep, social functioning. It helps with anxiety. It helps with fatigue. It helps with pain, believe it or not. No pain, no gain. That is not part of a degreed and certified exercise physiologist. That's not a part of our Bible. Pain, it helps against pain. Exercise helps work against pain, actually. It also reduces depression. Paige Jones just posted our Facebook post, and it says, "Do you want drugs? Or we want free drugs?" And then there's a picture, and it says, exercise is the most under-prescribed drug for depression. Let's take some exercise and feel a little bit better. I liked it. Actually, I might have loved that. Loved that post. So good job, Paige. And it also it improves the physical function, the social function, and the overall mental health of a person. Period. Exercise for survivors can prevent recurrence. It can prevent progression. It can increase survival. It's linked to better cancer-specific outcomes. One study found that women who had breast cancer and who engaged in recreational physical activity, roughly equivalent to walking at an average pace of 2 to 2.9 miles per hour for 1 hour per week, had a 35% to 49% lower risk of death from breast cancer compared with women who engaged in less physical activity. This is the foundation of our PINK program at Piedmont Healthcare. Which is, by the way, cheap plug for PINK at Piedmont. It is a comprehensive program for women who are 8 weeks out of surgery, treatment, or therapy relating to breast cancer. These women move, learn about healthy eating. They're given emotional support, wellness coaching. And at Piedmont, we take exercise for survivorship very, very seriously. We have degreed and certified staff to safely and comfortably exercise everyone. Paige, Noah, Inbar, Joel, Lauren, the whole team, they're back there, so I do hope you get a chance to meet them. And I want you to use your power moves okay? To release those feel-good hormones, those endorphins, and relish in that feeling of healthy accomplishment.